Hello, good morning, and of course, welcome once again to another episode of Winning at Life. It's really been close to almost 2 weeks now that I've really not been online, and the reason is because I got tired up with work, hectic schedules, and all of that, and of course, sometimes you just need to sometimes take a chill pill and relax and just let life flow. But today I'm back, and we're back to winning at life. And of course, it's absolutely very important that we understand why we're here every now and then, that we show up. The opportunity that I have, the grace and the encouragement that I have is that at every point in time we get to show up here, there's a lot that we learn, there's a lot that we get to take home. There's also a lot that we get to, give to ourselves and keep building ourselves and keep improving ourselves and all of that. So what I would love to share with us today is very simple. Is in the last couple of days, what I've discovered lately is that there is a big difference. When I say difference, I mean there's a big difference in understanding that your life currently are in pages and in chapters, because you're a book. There's a book of Tanito, there's a book of Lydia, there's a book of Tandiwe, there's a book of Bosasiwe, there's a book of Vusi, there's a book of Comfort, there's a book of Aubrey, there's a book of Jacaranda, there's a book of Mr. Dolly, there's a book for everybody. And oftentimes, what happens to a lot of us is that life wants to consistently make a chapter the book. Life wants to consistently make the chapter of your life your book. All right? No. Life wants to make you feel like that your book, all right, that this book is all that your life is, that this chapter of your life is all that your life is. And there's a common saying that says that men are in phases, life is in stages. Okay, men are in phases and life is in stages, and you need to understand that life being in phases and men being in stages is not talking about the man alone. It speaks about humanity as human. We grow from different journey, different dimensions of wisdom and growth and all of that to another. All right. So that brings us back to what I really want to discuss with us today on Winning at Life. Welcome if you're joining us for the very first time. This is called Winning at Life. Winning at Life is a weekly podcast. We try to make it daily if we can. But you see, because I've learned to understand that there's no pressure in this life, all right? So what we try to do is to help each other understand life from a dimension and a mindset of champions, and that we understand that to win is a conscious thing. Is not a happenstance. Is not something that happened because you didn't know. All right, winning is a conscious decision that you must learn to make, and to win, you've got to understand that in winning at life, what is most critical about you and how you win at life is that you must understand this particularly, that you've got to make to win. And you do not only just decide on making a decision without backing it up with the required action that can drive you to the place called success. And exactly what do we really mean by winning at life? I'll tell you what I mean today. Now, winning at life is what is basically saying there is a pre-designed model that God designed, that this life you would have the very best. Okay. But you see, the promise requires action. It requires a taking. It requires a takeover. So you need to go get what has been promised you. All right. You need to go take over the promised land. Even though God promised the children of Israel the promised land, they still had to go face Jericho, face the Jordan, River Jordan, and face the giants and all that. So taking what is rightfully yours requires a deliberate, intentional, systemic, strategic decision making, action backed up with an action plan, execution to the T, where you know you get what you're looking for. And if you don't get it, you try again. You keep trying till you get what exactly it is that you want from this life. Okay, so like I said to us, what I want to share with us this morning is very critical. And this applies to everybody. A chapter of your life is saying now does not in any way require or demand or suggest that is the end of your life. It's just a chapter. A chapter does not make a book. If I were to title this episode of today, I'm going to say to you clearly, a chapter does not make a book. A chapter does not make a book. Even though it can be a book, it can be a book, but it's always just a part of a book of your life. So this very chapter of your life, whether it be good or bad or ugly or discrediting, whatever it is not the end of your life. All right? It is never going to be the end of your life. I mean, imagine if the entire book of Moses ended at Exodus chapter 3, where Moses was born. Then there was war. Pharaoh gave it a command, and everybody had to, flee, and they were killing off sons that were born to the Jews then. What do you think would have happened at chapter 3? So Moses would have been, and chapter 3 said he was born and he was thrown into the river, and that was it. So he would have been born and wasted? No. But look at it. That same Moses ended up being the same person who became a prince of Egypt. Are you listening? Ram became a fugitive, came back as a freedom fighter, and became the person who liberated a whole nation from captivity. It means the chapter of your life is not yet concluded until you say so. And the reason why I say until you say so is because you are the only one who's got the right and the power and the capacity to decide whether you want a chapter to become the book of your life, or you want a page to become the entire book of your life. All right. Now, someone is going to clearly ask me, okay, so who the hell is even writing these books of my life? Who is writing it? You are the one writing it. Your actions, your decisions every day are the prints that you're using to write upon the books of your life. And sometimes we make mistakes, and you are allowed to make mistakes. It's called life. And when you make mistake in this life, you also have the right to erase those mistakes. And if they become things that you are not able to erase, you are allowed to flip to the next chapter of your life. Just flip it and just move on. All right. So I'm here to encourage somebody this morning, to remind you once again that today, that your life is not over, because it's just a chapter. And the chapter of your life is not over. This chapter is not over. And if the chapter ends, there's a new chapter that I believe has more better things to say. There's more opportunity. See, what life has ahead of you, you cannot fathom, you cannot imagine it. You would have no idea of what life has stored up for you. Little wonder the Bible said that what God has stored up for us, it said, minds are not conceived it, the eyes have not seen it. So why are you writing of yourself? Why are you giving up on your life? Why are you the one deciding that it's over? Why are you throwing in the towel just because there's a chapter that does not suit well? All right. Whatever is causing you pain right now is an advantage. So I want to encourage you, whatever it is, just know this. The chapter of your life is not the book of your life. It is just a chapter. Whether it be good or bad, what I need you to say to yourself is, this is just a chapter, a better chapter. Because at the end of the day, every book of life, if you understand purpose, your book of life is meant to end happily ever after. And it will end so. It will definitely end so. I believe the book of my life is going to end for me happily ever after. And that's what is becoming. I knew what my life was like in this country 2015, 2016, 2014, 2015, 2016. Imagine if I thought that was the sum total of my life. I mean, me, if I thought so. I didn't think so, but there were people who thought so. And because of the thought so, they reacted or treated me in a certain way. But that didn't matter, because that was their opinion, because other people's opinion can never and should never become your reality. All right. So people thought so. People believed that, oh, it was over for me. People thought, oh, that was the end of my life, whatever that is. But I didn't bother. Now, I look at my life 5 years down the line, and the question I ask, who would have thought that the same me who was going through a phase, a chapter of pain, of rejection, of betrayal, a chapter of lack, a chapter of losing everything, is here today having absolutely everything that I need to build and grow. And I'm getting better each day. All right. I'm aging like fine wine, growing like fine wine. Who would have thought? And that's what I need you to understand, that the same applies to every living being. Every living being. The chapter of your life is not the book of your life. Do not allow anyone, or even yourself, be the one determining that it is over with your life because the chapter of your life is not going according to plan. The chapter might not go according to plan, but the book will go according to plan. If you got to stick to the plan that God has for you and pursue it and follow your dreams and go after it like no man's business. All right? The book of your life is way important than the chapters that you're reading right now. This book of your life is way important than the past you're reading. This book of your life is way important than everything that is happening around your life right now. So stop being the person putting a full stop where God has just placed a comma. A bend is not an end. It's just a bend. A crossroad is not the end of the road. It's just for you to cross over the hurdle, cross over the challenges, and keep moving. You need to understand that those who ever made it in this life were those who never gave up on life. So you can't give up on yourself. You can't write yourself off because you made a mistake of the past or because you made wrong choices or wrong decisions. Listen, I believe God gave us capacity to rewrite our wrongs. And you know what I'm talking about? It's always choice. Everything. And that's what I love about this life that God gave to us as man. Listen, everything is choice. Everything. There's a chance to make a choice, and whatever you choose becomes the determinant factor of the outcomes of your life. What are you choosing? What exactly are you choosing? What exactly are you choosing? I want to encourage you, choose to be the best, choose to live, choose to win, choose to strive to be the best version of you. Meaning, as you pursue career, pursue developing yourself. Building character is very important. I was facilitating a workshop last Saturday, and I said to them there are basically about 3 or 4 currencies that life has given us to spend. One of them is called money, another is called time, another is called people. But the most important is called character. How? And you see, character is an investment. You make a bad choices. It's like you're trading, because character is like trading. You make bad choices, bad decisions. There's a reward for those bad choices. You make good choices, good decisions. There's also a reward. So character is a currency. It pays. So you got to sit down and remind yourself. And what I need you to take home today, very important, that the chapter of your life is not the end of your life. It's not the sum total of your life. It's just a chapter. So there could be a bad chapter right now. You could be going through a very bad phase, a very devastating state where heartbreak or mistakes or loss or pain is the current chapter. If it's pain, use it as a gain. All right? If it's a mistake, it's a lesson. All right? It's a learning curve of how not to make such choices again. If it's betrayal, it's important. What it's taught you is understand that you need wisdom to trust. Whatever it is that you're doing. And the most important thing, if you're facing envy and bitterness in this life, it means you need to open your heart more to love, because there's so much on you that people are envious about. It means there's greatness in you. So please do not make this chapter of your life that does not look well, that is not going as planned, that does not look like the dream you once had, to become the sum total of your life. You're way better than this. There's more in you. I believe that. I know so. And that's why I'm saying this to you. It is just a chapter. You've got every right to flip the page if that chapter ends, or you can decide to end it right now. Flip the page and allow that chapter sometimes play out its own course. But what I believe is you have the right to flip the page and start on a fresh canvas and redesign your life. Rewrite the story of your life. Rewrite them by making right choices, right decisions, good, wise choices. Invest in what is important in your life. Invest in what has the capacity to produce multiple harvests of interest, growth, joy, and all that for you. All I'm going to encourage you to do now is please invest in your life. Be the best version of yourself. Be the best you can be. Strive daily to improve upon yourself. Make sure you are improving yourself. Make sure you do everything daily to improve yourself. That is where your life is built upon. That's where everything about you is upon. If one door closes, you find 7 other doors and keep them open, and make sure you've got control of those things. So what I'm going to be sharing with us the remaining few days of this week is as we start the understanding and the unpacking that the chapter of our life is not the sum total, it's not the book, the entire book of your life. Neither is it the sum total of your life. It's just a chapter, it's just a page. What I'm going to encourage you to do and understand this lesson, that as we grow in this journey, I need you to know that there are things that must work in your life and you need to have control in those areas. And when you understand what control is, it means you sitting at the M of some certain decision making of your life, that you are going to find yourself living, having a better, happy life. I want to say thank you for those of you who have joined. All right. Do share this life with some of your friends, your network, invite them to join Winning at Life with Turning to the Mind Coach. I'm really excited that I'm back on TikTok again. I was away for close to 2 weeks, but I think I'm much better now. My head space is clear. Uh, very few thoughts on my desk at the moment. And so I think I got a space for us to again converse, share mind, and sharpen our minds and build ourselves to become the best version of our life. Remember, life is a choice. You decide to win. To win at life, you need to understand life. You need to understand what life in itself is about. And from my definition, I've stated clearly over time on this platform that life, I believe life is God given opportunity and privilege to mankind to co create, co own, and co manage the earth. All right. So you are a partner with God on this earth. What are you doing? What are you pulling? How much weight are you pulling to improve God's business called mankind, God's business called humanity, God's business called the world and the earth? All right. So I encourage you, dear friends, please be the very best version of yourself. Till we meet again sometimes tomorrow. Ciao.